Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Set during the reign of King Louis XIII of France, The Three Musketeers tells the story of D'Artagnan, a young man who is looking to join the ranks of the Musketeers. Along with fellow Musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, D'Artagnan fights to foil the schemes of Cardinal Richelieu and his seductive partner in crime, Milady. I have finally read The Three Musketeers. This is a long time coming. I have seen so many various different versions of this movie through movies and just anything else like movies or television where The Three Musketeers is often referenced, especially with the classic line of all for one, one for all. So yeah, I've always kind of known the basic premise of this book, so it's nice to finally read the whole of the novel and understand a lot of these kind of classic pop culture references. Let's start with accessibility. I think this book is fairly easy to follow. The language is not that difficult to follow at all, I don't think. The writing does get a little bit dry and boring on occasion, but once you get out of some of those slower moments, this novel has some brilliant scenes that just leave you wanting more. This book is pretty thick. Look at it. My edition is just about 700 pages, so obviously there's going to be some uninteresting parts in a 700-page book. The first 250 pages of this book is probably what is most familiar to most people when they think of The Three Musketeers, especially if you have seen the various different movie adaptations. It was seriously pretty much the entire middle chunk of this book that was new territory for me, and a lot of this new material to me wasn't that interesting, and I found myself kind of zoning out on occasion and having difficulty figuring out what the heck was even actually going on. The middle chunk of the book consists of a lot of scenes where D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers, they're trying to get money. So there's a lot of plotting among the four of them, with them trying to get new horses, get new armor, get new clothing, buy food. There was even a few random chapters that focused on Porthos and his lady friend that he was trying to seduce and get money from, and I never quite understood the purpose of those chapters, and I felt like they were unneeded. But once the book hits about the 500-page marker, this is when things get good, and there's this really intense dramatic scene between Athos and Milady, which I'm not going to spoil, but you might know what scene I'm talking about if you have read the book. And after this really intense scene between Athos and Milady, things just get wild and crazy in this book, and the pace just is quick and rapid, and everything that follows is very fascinating to read about. After this scene with Athos and Milady, the rest of the novel is pretty much focused heavily on Milady, pretty much the last 25% of the novel, and it's all about her and her story and kind of how she is wrapped up in this whole plot. And interesting enough, D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers kind of take a backseat, which was very interesting. And like I said, Milady dominates the whole last end of the book. So moving on to the characters, I really love these characters. They were just so fun to read about, and they were all kind of quirky in their own little way. And I even liked the villains. You have the brash D'Artagnan, the noble Athos, the colorful Porthos, the devout Aramis, the conniving Cardinal, the seductive Milady, the innocent Constance. And all of these characters just work so well with each other, and I love this dynamic between all of them. I obviously love D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. How can you not? The book starts off, and D'Artagnan, being the brash, young, arrogant man that he is, he gets himself into some trouble, and he makes a very bad first impression with Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. and talk about bromance. This is like a four-way bromance. It's probably one of the most epic bromances in the history of literature. There's this great sense of friendship and camaraderie and trust, and you just see this from start to finish. And as I'm doing this review, I often kind of refer to this group of men, I often refer to them as D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. But despite me saying and the Three Musketeers, everyone, including D'Artagnan, each man has his time to shine, and they all have their own individual characteristics that are very distinct, and their own chapters and their own little subplots. Cardinal Richelieu. Good lord, he's so conniving. I don't know if he's particularly evil. I never got this, like, mwahaha vibe from him, but he was very conniving and, methodical. And it's kind of hard sometimes to kind of think, well, what is he exactly trying to do here? But it was none of these male characters that drew me into this story. It was Milady. Milady, wow, you guys, she's probably easily my favorite character in this whole book. She's seductive and mysterious, and you never quite know what to expect from her. And her chapters are just some of my ultimate favorites. She may be a villainess, but she's a character that you feel some sort of sympathy to, and you kind of love to hate her. But yeah, like I said, I did enjoy D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers, but I really found myself connecting with Milady's chapters, and then whenever there were chapters with Cardinal Richelieu and Rochefort, I believe is how his name is pronounced, and anything with the Duke of Buckingham, I just really found myself interested in those chapters the most for some reason. Whereas, like I said, sometimes the chapters with D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers, sometimes it could be a little repetitive and monotonous and a little boring on occasion. Whereas with Milady, Richelieu, Buckingham, I never felt bored. Overall, I highly enjoyed the Three Musketeers. I loved the beginning. I was kind of a little bored with the middle, but then I loved the ending. It was seriously nice to read such a beloved classic, and a classic that is just so recognizable throughout pop culture. I highly recommend this book for lovers of classics, obviously, as well as for historical fiction fans. I believe this book was wrote in the 1800s, but it takes place in the 1600s, so it is classical literature. And then I also recommend it for people who really like swashbuckling action-adventure type stories, because this is one of the best. So have you guys read The Three Musketeers? Do you want to read it? What adaptations have you guys seen? And are you all going to watch the new television series that is going to be starting up on BBC America? I know the UK has already got it and it's already over there, but it's going to be starting here pretty soon, and I'm really excited. So that's it for this review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you liked this review, you may like these. Bye guys.